In this lesson, we are going to solve inequalities and graph the solution set on a number line. Solving an inequality requires the same process as solving an equation. We will isolate the variable by applying the inverse operations, working backward according to the order of operations. Keep the inequality balanced by applying the same operation on both sides of the inequality symbol, just like solving equations. Be mindful when the variable is on the right side of the inequality, either read from right to left with respect to the variable that's on the right, or reverse the entire inequality. Okay, so let's practice solving a few, and then we'll take a look when we may need to reverse the inequality. So here we have 6x minus 12 is less than or equal to 24. We're going to undo the subtract first, doing the opposite inverse, and we're going to go opposite of the order of operations, bring down the inequality. We are going to divide to undo multiplication, and now we've isolated x. Our boundary number is 6. X can equal 6, so we close it, or it can be less than 6. Example number 2, we're going to undo the addition by subtracting 7 from both sides. We bring down x divided by 3 is greater than 5. We're going to undo division by multiplication on both sides. So x is isolated to be greater than 15. 15 is not part of the solution set. It is open, and we shade to the right because it's greater than. Number 3, our variable is on the right side. I'm just going to go ahead and solve as normal, leaving it as it is, and in the end, I may reverse it and show you how you can take a look at this. So we're going to add 14 to both sides. We are going to divide by 3. And x is isolated. So we read it, if we read it where x is on the right side, x is greater or equal to 4, or we can flip it around to x is still greater or equal to 4. So everything gets reversed. And now when we graph this, our boundary number 4 is included. So we close it and we shade. Whoops, I was doing it wrong. Don't make that mistake. Good learning opportunity right there. So it's included and we shade x is greater. So we shade to the right. So here's another caution. When solving an inequality, so when you're solving, the inequality symbol is reversed or flipped. We flip it around, we reverse it if we multiply or divide by a negative value. So this is when we're solving. So let's solve number 4. We're going to add 7 to both sides. We're dividing by a negative. So when we divide by a negative, we reverse, or multiply by a negative, we reverse the inequality because negative means opposite of. And now we have negative 6 is our boundary number, and x is greater than that. So we had to reverse that because we divided by a negative value. Number 5, isolating x. We are going to undo division by multiplication, and look, we are multiplying by a negative. So I'm going to flip around my inequality. The negative 2's cancel. I have x is less than or equal to positive 6. So 6, our boundary number, is part of the solution set, and the values to the left. Now number 6 is a double doozy. We have our variable on the right, and it looks like we will be reversing the inequality symbol. We're going to add 8. We are going to multiply both sides by negative 7. I must reverse the inequality because I multiplied by a negative. So we can either leave it as is and say x is less than negative 21, or flip the entire statement so it still says x is less than negative 21. Negative 21 is not part of the solution set. It's not included, and we shade to the left. Okay, pause the video, complete these practice problems. When you finish and submit, make sure you check the answer key and make corrections before moving on to the concept check.